I'm 107 now. I've lived through wars, inventions that changed the world, heartbreak, joy, and so many quiet, ordinary days. But if I could whisper one thing to my younger self, it would be this: don't waste your time chasing what doesn't matter. I spent 87 years learning this the hard way, and every year I realized life isn't about doing more. It's about being more aware of what's worth your attention. I want you to hear this because your time, your precious hours, are slipping by faster than you realize. So stay with me until the end. I promise it will change how you see everything. For most of my life, I thought that being busy meant I was important, that it meant I was living a meaningful life. I would fill my days with errands, obligations, endless meetings, chores I didn't enjoy, and conversations that went nowhere. I thought the busier I was, the more respected I would be. But here's what 87 years of paying attention taught me. Busyness is often a trap. It tricks you into thinking you are accomplishing something when most of the time you're just moving in circles. I used to wake up with my to-do list already longer than the day could hold, and I would go to bed exhausted, wondering what I had really done. I wasted years thinking that filling my time was the same as making it meaningful. I said yes to invitations I didn't want. I agreed to projects that drained me. I rushed from one errand to the next, thinking that the sheer weight of my activity was proof of my worth. At 50, I had a small revelation. I realized that the things that truly mattered, quiet mornings, deep conversations, moments with people I loved, hours spent reading, reflecting, walking, these things weren't urgent. And everything else, all the constant noise, all the rushing around, it was optional. By the time I was 87, I had learned to ask myself a simple question every day. Does this truly deserve my attention? If it didn't, I let it go. I let go of meetings that weren't meaningful, of people who didn't add value to my life, of habits that burned my energy for nothing. I focused on what nourished me, what grew my heart, my mind, and my joy. And now, at 107, I can say with certainty, your time is the one thing no one can give you back. Guard it fiercely. Don't waste it on busyness. Spend it on being alive, not just on being busy. It took me decades to understand that not all people are good for your heart, even when they're family or friends. Some people drain you without meaning to. Some people live in a constant storm of negativity, and if you stay close too long, their storm becomes yours. I wasted years trying to please people who didn't care to understand me. I tried to be everything for everyone. I gave my time, my patience, my energy, thinking it would earn love or respect. And most of the time, it didn't. Instead, I ended up exhausted, frustrated, and a little bitter. Here's what I learned too late. You can't save everyone, and you don't have to. Some people will always take more than they give. Some will criticize, complain, or demand attention endlessly. And some will drain your spirit just by existing in your orbit. That doesn't make you unkind or selfish. It just means you have to protect yourself. Saying no, walking away, or even leaving behind relationships that no longer serve you is not cruelty. It is survival. It is wisdom. It took me decades to do this. I wish I'd done it at 40, at 50, even at 60. Protecting your heart is the kindest thing you can do, not just for yourself, but for the people who truly matter. By the time I was 87, I had learned to surround myself only with people who lifted me up, who inspired me, who added joy to my life. And that, more than anything, has made the last 20 years of my life some of the happiest. For most of my life, I worried about what everyone else thought of me. I worried about my parents' expectations, my peers' judgments, my boss's approval, the social norms that dictated how a woman should act, dress, speak, or even think. I chased approval like it was currency, like my life depended on it. I bent myself, molded myself, and performed for decades, believing that if I earned enough nods, enough praise, enough recognition, I would finally feel safe and worthy. But here's the truth I wish I had known at 20. Approval is a mirage. It is fleeting, fragile, and it will never be enough. The older I got, the more I realized that the only approval that mattered was my own. The freedom that comes from letting go of everyone else's expectations is indescribable. The moment you stop performing, the moment you stop bending yourself into someone else's version of good, you feel lighter, freer, and more alive than you've ever been. Living authentically isn't easy. It isn't always accepted. People will whisper, they will question, they may even reject you. But authenticity brings peace, joy, and a sense of alignment you cannot get any other way. If I had learned this at 40, my life would have been so much easier. If I had learned it at 50, my years would have been lighter, happier, more full of laughter. But at 107, I can finally say, living your truth is worth every risk, every awkward conversation, every challenge. Stop performing. Stop bending to fit in. Live your life on your own terms, however messy, however unconventional, however beautiful it may look. Nothing teaches you the value of time like watching it slip away because of poor health. For most of my life, I thought I was invincible. I ignored aches, brushed off fatigue, laughed at the idea that what I ate or how I moved could affect me decades later. By my 50s, the warnings were harder to ignore. I had friends who didn't take care of themselves, who thought they could catch up later, and they paid the price. I watched them slow down, their energy disappear, their lives shrink. And I realized something I wish I had learned sooner. Your body is not disposable. It is your most precious asset. By 87, I had learned the importance of small daily rituals, stretching, walking slowly in the morning, eating foods that nourish instead of just fill, taking quiet moments to breathe and reflect. I discovered the joy of listening to my body, not punishing it, not ignoring it. Health isn't glamorous, and it isn't flashy. It doesn't come with applause or recognition, but without it, nothing else matters. Every conversation, every laugh, every sunrise, every story you could tell, these all rely on your health, your energy, your ability to be present. I can say now at 107 that one of the biggest regrets people have is wasted time spent on habits, foods, and choices that slowly erode vitality. Don't wait for a crisis to wake you up. Don't postpone joy because you think you'll do better tomorrow. Every day, every hour, every breath is a gift. Treat it with reverence. Protect it. Nourish it. And you will live not just longer, but richer, fuller, more aware. This is the wisdom that took me decades to gather, and I hope it reaches you before you have to learn it the hard way. After 107 years of living, loving, learning, and losing, here's the lesson I want to leave with you. Your time is the only non-renewable resource you have. Everything else, money, possessions, titles, achievements, can be replaced or repaired. Time cannot. Stop chasing what doesn't matter. Don't let busyness distract you from joy. Protect your energy from people and things that drain you. Surround yourself with love, kindness, laughter, and people who lift you higher. Say no without guilt. Walk away without regret. Live authentically. Speak your truth. Stop performing for everyone else and start living for yourself. Wear what you love, say what you feel, and create a life that fits your heart, not the world's expectations. Cherish your health, because it is the foundation of everything else. Move, nourish, rest, and laugh often. Every day you ignore it is a day you give away. Every small act of care is a deposit into decades of joy. If you carry just one piece of advice from me today, let it be this. Spend your life on the people, the moments, and the joy that actually matter. Don't let anything or anyone steal your precious hours. And if you want to receive weekly insights from someone who's lived through more than a century of lessons, stories, reflections, and practical ways to make every day count, then join my Savvy Senior newsletter. You'll find wisdom you won't get anywhere else, delivered straight to your inbox. Sign up at savvysenior.behiv.com, subscribe, and start making your days count from today. Because, my dear, life is far too short to waste a single moment on what doesn't matter.